Man, so the dragons are running a weed factory. I'm really curious to see the man in charge of this place.
All we wanna do is smoke and fuck some hoes. Cause all we wanna do is smoke and fuck some hoes.
Hey guys, it's Dan, your host of Dan's Reviews, and today I'm back for another video for Survival of the Fittest. This one's going to be doing my review for the third episode of Season 6. This one is called The Way of the Warrior.
Alright guys, this one's going to be doing a review today. This one's going to be doing a review for Survival of the Fittest. This one's going to be doing my review for Season 6, Episode 3 of Survival of the Fittest. This one is called The Way of the Warriors. So, Episode 3 now for Survival of the Fittest. This is called The Way of the Warrior. This is our first bottle episode, I would say, this season, minus the last, few minutes. This is basically a bottled-off episode, and more so of a kind of, outpost attack type of episode for this one. So this episode focuses on four main characters. We've got the new character named Leslie from the Wellington community, who is one of our main characters from that location. And we've got Carter, we've got Derek, and we've got Blair that all go attack this weed compound from the dragons. Now, a very interesting approach for an episode, a very different type of episode, and I think it's unique in a really, really good way. And this is definitely the most action we've seen of this season so far. There's a lot of action in this episode. If you like action, this is a great action episode, and it's really good action, right? So definitely one of these type episodes, right, where, you've got a lot going on. Basically, you got the intro where they're kind of planning things out and getting ready to kind of step foot in there. And I kind of like some of the jokes they have. Derek's man, it's getting kind of cold outside, And he's like, Carter, you're wearing flannel. I'm still wearing a friggin' t-shirt, it's kind of cold out there, right? So they're getting ready to go in, right? And basically, this is kind of like a weed factory that the dragons have going on here, which I thought was kind of interesting. You've got Henry, you've got some of the others that are kind of there, and this was a really exciting episode. I really like kind of the vibe of this one, the music and the action, and I can say the battle was very, very well executed as well too. And one thing I definitely like is that it was kind of bottled off, so we didn't cut away from the battle at all in this episode. We were really grounded in what was going on, which I thought was really good. But one of the main characters in this episode that really gets a lot of screen time is Blair. Blair ends up kind of having this, trip out scene in this episode, which I thought was really crazy, where he's trying to kind of, fight off some dragons, but he goes through, this kind of, trip out, right, that they make him go through. And it's really crazy. He ends up seeing, just everybody before him. You've got David's group, and you've got everybody in front of him. And you can almost tell it's almost like him low-key regretting what he did to Morgan, and also just the things that he's been doing, and the things that he's done. And we kind of see a little bit of that in this one. And we really focus on Blair in an interesting way, which I thought was really crazy, because we never really see much of his perspective on things. And in this episode, we delved into that quite a bit. So that was pretty insane as well, too. Now, we do have a pretty awesome battle that goes on, although we do have Blair that does get injured, and they have to kind of take him back. Now, they ultimately win, of course, but they do have to get Blair back to the community, so that's what ends up happening. They end up driving back to the community after a little while, and towards the end of the episode, we do get to see Blair getting taken to the infirmary, and we get to see Wellington and a little bit of David in this episode, too. A little bit of him. He does make a little bit of an appearance in this episode. But in terms of kind of our characters, Blair was easily my favorite of this episode. He was really, really good. And I did like Carter. She was really good. And I'm happy that Derek got more screen time too, because he was one of the characters that I always felt kind of lacked with screen time. So I was happy to see more from him. And I also really enjoyed this new Leslie character. I'm starting to really like her as well, too. So the episode kind of ends in a pretty interesting fashion where Smithy, Miranda's father, is actually now going to be making a deal with Asuka and the dragons. So he's going to be making a deal. We'll have to see next episode what that's about, but that's kind of how the episode comes to a conclusion. Now, in terms of kind of overall thoughts, I love the episode. I love the way it was filmed. I love the snow, during the shootouts. I love that type of stuff. And my only real complaint with the episode, I would say, I really only have one. I'd say some of the action music was a little too, out there for me. That was the only thing. But aside from that, yeah, very enjoyable episode. And I'm going to drop a 9 out of 10. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well done episode. And I'm glad to get more from the Blair character, because I feel like his character is so interesting up to this point, especially after everything that's happened, with his redemption and, the Godfather, and now kind of being part of our crew and stuff like that. He's really come a long way from the guy that we saw in Season 1. So Really good stuff. So anyway, if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to click the subscribe button to not miss any other videos for Survival of the Fittest. Make sure to follow me on Dan's Reviews Official to get more videos like this, and I'll see you guys really soon for another video for Survival of the Fittest. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and peace out.